Why do you think you deserve the APC ticket above the rest?
Well, I have said this in several fora that everybody that is contesting for governor in Benue State under the platform of the APC is eminently qualified.
Really?
Yes. Every of them is eminently qualified. We have legal practitioners, we have retired permanent secretaries, we have architects. They are all eminently qualified in their own right. But the point I have always made that at a time like this, I am better placed than all of them to understand the problems of the Benue people.
Why so?
I have been in the assembly, in the civil assembly. I have been part of the process to discover what the issues are. You understand? Much more than any of them. I understand the issues pertaining to salaries. In fact, before the crisis engulfed the assembly, we were going to bring out a report that would have shocked completely the Benue people. Because it has been my desire not just to inform the Benue people that the problem is ghost owners. Is ghost owners and not just ghost workers. But my desire was to go a step further to at least bring some of these ghost workers who are protected in government, those scapegoats, to the Benue people, in the public domain, that people will see the persons that are trying to kill the Benue economy, the persons that have been feeding fat on the lives of the pensioner and the ordinary Benue worker. And so these are facts that it takes somebody that has been in the trenches concerning the issues that affect us to be able to hit the ground running when you make him governor.
Yeah.
Others are going to need time to study the situation as it is. I don't need time. I have been fighting these ills. Like I said, even as a majority leader, I was vexed to a point that I was making invitations even on persons that were in my government, that I was in government with them to come and talk to the Benue people. I understand what the issues are. And I'm better focused and placed, much more than any of the others that are contesting with me, to ensure that Benue is finally placed on the path of industrial growth and development in Nigeria.
Okay, you're better informed, but you just couldn't even explain the question of the SAC staff. You say until the facts are placed before you.
Don't you forget that I am a parliamentarian. Do you understand? Now, there's a difference between being in parliament and having a grasp of issues and having these issues before you as an executive officer taking decisions. And that was the point I was making. I want you to understand this very clearly. There is no way in the world that you want a parliamentarian to perform the functions of an executive officer. It's never done.
Yes.
Do you understand?
I'm not expecting that
you can understand the issues, in general terms. But then to begin to look at the issues like what you have brought, the facts, the files, what occasion, and all that. I don't want to tell you, I don't want to give you, because most of the issues pertaining to salaries, pertaining to ghost workers and all that, we have looked at them. But the recent, sack that the governor is giving, we are not versed with some of the issues that allowed him to determine them the way he has done. But
would that be correct? Because you represent the people. And I want to be sure that people of Makurdi were among the sacked people. Because there was an outcry.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have bothered as a representative of the people to have an interest so that you can protect the people you represent?
These issues were not brought before me. You see, the way it works in democracy, if a member of my constituency has been treated unfairly or feels that his dismissal is unfair, he will, first of all, bring the matters before me by way of writing. And then I will look at it and maybe take it to the assembly and we'll send it to the right committee to look at the issues and report back to us. That is normally the procedure that is adopted. And if something happens and nobody has been able to avail me with the facts, there is no aggrieved party, then I may be a legislator, but then I may not have the magical powers of, flying around and just determining what the issues are.
Okay, that's fine. Eventually, by God's grace, if you are able to clinch the APC ticket and you are going into the elections, can you itemize what you would do for Benue people differently? Sell yourself. Let's see whether you will be better than Otome.
Well, first of all, I said over the years, the narrative in Benue has been that we are a civil service state. By implication, what that means is that we are a poor reading state. And I think that is not correct. If indeed we are supposed to be the food basket of Benue State, if you are supplying food to the world or to the other states, you are by no means supposed to be seen and referred to as a poor state. So first of all, that is my first target. We have to change the narrative completely. We are a very rich state. It mustn't be all about oil. Okay? If you take some little time and invest in agriculture, you will discover to your amazement. Because look at Israel. If you've been to Israel, you discover that it takes a whole lot for you to plant in Israel. You have first of all have to go and bring the soil. You have to lay pipes for irrigation because the terrain there is such that the rains don't come as much as they come here. And then when you are planted, you are going to bring some leather to cover the seedlings as they are sprouting. It's a whole lot of work, and they are feeding the world. And that is you agree that here in Benue, our soil is so fertile that you throw a mango and the next day you come, it has germinated. So what is happening? Government has not focused. Government has just been playing rhetorics on the issue of agriculture. Nobody has rolled his sleeves and gotten to work seriously on trying to tap from this wonderful opportunity that God has given the people of Benue. Now, we are the food basket of the nation, right? And then we don't have tractors. Go to Benta right now, and you discover that there is no tractor in Benta. And so you want the people to change the narrative and the story by subsistence farming. Is that the point you're making? But we have people in this state that have 10 harvesters, 20 harvesters in government, in this present government. I don't want to call names, but the people listening to me will understand what I'm talking about. So when an individual is richer, you understand, in terms richer than the Ministry of Agriculture, and then you're telling the people, go and change the narrative. We are the food basket of the nation. You see, all this propaganda and all these rhetorics must be put aside when I become the governor of Benue State. We are going to get to work. We are going to involve the youth. We are going to bring in equipments and implements. You understand? We are going to shift from subsistence farming to mechanized farming, and we will feed the North Central during my time very, very well. And we are going to take advantage of this. Our internally generated revenue is going to rise because we will ensure that those products, of course, are taxable. So that is one area, and that is what agriculture has spoken about. You understand? But of course, we have to handle the issue of security. Because you cannot talk about agriculture, you cannot talk about cottage industries. Look at the industrial layout, it has been let fallow. It has been let fallow. Every government that came in has ensured that 1 or 2 cottage industries are established at the industrial layout, apart from this government. What this government has done is to acquire those industries, cottage industries, that were initiated and established by previous administrations. It is a sad commentary on the performance chart of this administration. They have not brought us one cottage industry, but they have acquired those that were existing for the common good of me and you, and they are prepared to acquire more. Our prayer, sincerely, is that by the time they leave, there should be a few left that we can begin to build our Benue once again.
But acquiring the government property, does that have nothing to do with you? And if you think it was wrong, why didn't you stop it? You could have impeached this government.
Don't find I share your enthusiasm.
You could have impeached it, regardless of whether you had the financial standpoint or not. You would have still tried something.
Yes.
And not just backdoor, for the Benue people to know that you were trying something.
Yes.
Honorable Adanyi, I'm sorry if I don't buy into your, the government has done poorly, but I'm limited. I would have loved you to take responsibility for some things and maybe said you did not want to hit the polity. Instead of just exonerating yourself completely. Well, you would have started something. Even if you hadn't succeeded, you would have been seen to start something against this government that you have so described in this light. Well,
Dofan, I'd like to appreciate you for your enthusiasm. I want to say this. You want me to take responsibility for non-payment of salaries as a legislator? I would do that.
No,
but perhaps listeners will see behind the lines. You understand? You want me to take responsibility for not payment?
For the industries that we acquire,
you want me to take responsibility?
There's a procedure to acquire industries.
Yes.
There are procedures to acquire industry. Does the governor have the power to sit on his own, sell out some of those industries to whosoever have bought them without your knowledge as a majority leader in a legislature that holds the legal aspect of the state?
Now, thank you. Some of these industries were even leased out to the governor before he became governor.
Okay. That's better understanding.
To start with, okay? And again, you do not need to underestimate the constitutional powers that are invested in the governor as the chief executive officer of the state. All the governor needs is to have the ESCO give approvals. And so what members of the assembly will ask at all times was there executive approval for this particular action. But me and you know that the executive meeting, this is made up of commissioners and special advisors to the governor who will do exactly what the governor wants. So if you want the paperwork to be done correctly, it will be done correctly. The issues I speak about are beyond paperwork. I'm talking about somebody that has a vision and wants to do the right thing. Not somebody who can give you the good paperwork and then I'll tell you that the properties were acquired legally or due process was followed. Due process can, these are individuals. And as an executive governor, if you want to get due process, of course you run through the whole gamut of the process and then it will now become due process. But I say, if you have a vision for the people, if you have passion for the people, you know, you will not be talking about due process in acquiring a company that another government had put in place for the good people of this state. You will ensure that others will also come through you. You will initiate and implement. You understand? That is the point I'm making. And so I'm saying that because there is no direct vision for the people of Benue State. And that is why I keep on saying that if you see this government, they are very silent on achievement, they are only very loud on propaganda.
When did you notice this, that there was no good intentions coming from the person we chose to lead us? When did you notice
I answered that question a while ago. I said when information...
Okay, 4 months back.
Yeah, it's only from because you know we were empathizing with government. The song that that they were singing at all times was that there was no money. In fact, there was an interview I granted, and I said because we just left the stakeholders meeting, and governor told us that what came in was 3.5 billion, and he has to pay 8.5 billion as the wage bill. And so a reporter came to me and said, what is your take? I said, even a pope, if you give him 3.5 to pay 8.5, he cannot pay. The guy went to news with the caption that majority leader said, even the pope cannot pay salaries in Benue. You understand? Mischievously. And that was not what I was saying.
Everybody knows that a headline is just a headline.
Exactly. No. But you see, it gives the wrong impression in the wrong domain. What I was saying, he now cut off. I said, because if you have 3.5, you obviously, but the assembly will look at these issues. That was how I concluded that. He cut off that, you understand, to be able to achieve what he wanted. But honestly and sincerely, when you have the head that does not think Benue, does not understand what can bring variables and tangibles on the Benue table, you are doomed. Okay? The beauty of this whole scenario that we speak about is that God has given us an opportunity that in a couple of months, we'll bring in somebody that is prepared to hit the ground running. And that is my humble share by the special grace of God.
Okay, you have attained a very good level of success politically. And yesterday when I came into the house, your wife was not feeling too strong. I saw you going around serving people from the kitchen and wherever. Is that a political stunt I saw yesterday, or that's who Adanyi is?
No, that's mean for real. It's something I do out of passion. And honestly, if you ask people around me, they will tell you that it is my joy and my delight, okay, to serve people. And that is why I'm in service. I was doing that. Happily, we just came back from Zone CO Tukbo, and we came back from a rousing welcome. If you look at
the house was highly populated.
It was amazing, and I thank God the Lord has gone ahead of us, and we're just coming behind.
Okay, some people have insinuated that Akume has anointed you already. The reason why we saw almost everybody in the former administration or present administration, but the SAC one, almost all of them from commissioners, the members of the state houses of assembly, and all of that here yesterday. Could that be true?
No, nothing can be further from the truth than what you just said. Because distinguished Senator George Akume has not gotten himself involved in this process. He has left the process to the good people of Benue State.
Okay.
The last time he tried to assist with the choice of who becomes governor, it is a disaster, as you can see for yourself. Okay? So what he has encouraged and what he is doing presently is to ensure that the good people of Benue will have a peak themselves. And that is why you can see I had to take out time to canvass the entire state. Yesterday I was coming from the Zone C. I have been to, I finished the entire Zone A, I've been to Zone B, and I will still continually meet with people, consult with them, and sell my passion and my programs and my vision and my focus and my blueprint for the people of Benue State. If I was anointed, I don't need to do that. I'm moving around because I want to connect with the people. I want the people to buy into my vision. I want them to understand my desire for Benue State and indeed our economy.
So your strategy is going to be just the product you have, because a lot of people have argued that you're not known aside Makodi. So your strategy, what would be your strategy to sell? It will just be your blueprint?
Well, I don't know. I think that of all that are contesting, it will not be very correct to say that I'm not known. I've been the minority leader in this state, don't forget, for 4 years. And the people have listened to me on the radio on a daily basis. As a majority leader, I have spoken in this. Some refer to me as a controversial legislator because I speak when everybody has kept mute. Okay? So I think of all that are contesting, there is not one that is a household name than the name BT Adanyi. That I can assure you. There is no local government. You need to have seen the responses in Otukpo, wherein I was going for the first time with my bishop. And some of them said, that had followed me on radio, they were excited. Okay. It was testimony time instead of consultations.
I like you. Okay, APC have, sorry, that's not an endorsement though. APC have chosen direct primaries as their mode for for the primary election.
Yeah.
Is that not too much for any gubernatorial aspirant or even state house of assembly member to handle? You're saying all the card-carrying members should come and elect someone that will carry the party's flag.
You see, Dofan, that decision is the perhaps the best thing that has happened to the APC as a political party.
Why so?
It is also the best thing that has happened to Nigerians.
Okay.
Yes, because we must evolve to a level that we will allow the people to have a choice in what we do. The indirect primaries affords an opportunity for certain money bags to hijack the process. You understand? I don't want to be in government house because I brought in millions and I purchase delegates. That is not what I want. I want to be in government house because the people unanimously, and because I was accepted by the mechanic, I was accepted by the vulcanizer, I was accepted by that person that don't matter. That is why I want to be in government house. So I can work freely. I don't need to be moving with security because I took money and hijacked the process, and I against the desires of the people, and then I'll be moving with securities and continue with what perhaps this administration is doing. Because when somebody is not a product of the people, he does not understand or even empathize with what the people are going through. And I think that is why our party, in their wisdom and knowledge, prefer that let everybody matter. If democracy is of the people, is by the people, of the people, and for the people, why then do you allow a small few, you understand, to take certain very heavy decisions that will affect the whole and then allow you to stand. And again, when you talk about expensive, I don't really understand. What is expensive about this process? Indeed, this process is less expensive.
Because you have to go to wards, you have to go to local government to connect with card carrying member. A card carrying member from ward, in my ward, okay, Ogbokbo is like in town, cannot, but talk about someone that is coming from another part of Apa.
Yes.
Cannot carry his card from that part to come and meet with Adanyi, to know who Adanyi is personally.
Yes.
Maybe I had different opinion about you, but sitting with you from yesterday, you would have changed that. Yeah. So every electorate will want to have that. And that would mean that you traveling to almost every ward or every local government, won't that be too expensive?
Yeah, I don't think it is too expensive. You see, there's no way you will connect with every person. You understand? If you've been able to sell your programs or your ideas, your focus, your vision to a small few, and they buy into it, it is a responsibility, you understand, to now speak as your canvassers to other people.
I'm sorry, 2015 I voted a different candidate. My husband voted a different candidate. So I think that that is no more working in Nigeria. Okay,
that was because the canvassers could not convince you.
Yes.
Yeah, so be it. So if you get the wrong canvassers, that's your problem.
And that's the man that was sitting on the same bed with me.
But don't forget, Dofan, don't forget that leadership comes only from God.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not going to come because of the monies that you have. It's not going to come about it. God has destined right from our birth what we are going to be. If you're a believer in that, then you're not going to bother yourself. For instance, if I go for direct primaries, I have done my consultations with stakeholders in the various places. I have told them what I have come to do. I have told them what I have come to offer. I have told them I want to bring value to governance. I have requested and pleaded with them to depart from the empty governance that we have seen in the last 3 years, wherein we can talk about cargo airport for 2 years to 3 years, and then thereafter we will abandon the cargo airport, and not one Benue indigenous, not even you, Dofan, we ask questions as what happened to that fiasco. It is sad. Somebody told me that the Benue people have a memory that easily forgets. Okay? And so that's what the government is striving on. They're not talking about cargo airport and some of these other
things. No, they told us it's still ongoing. They told us it's ongoing. We asked questions. They said it's ongoing.
Beautiful. The cargo airport is ongoing. When I take oath of office, I will bring out the documents on the fraud and the deceit of what is called the cargo airport for the Benue people to see. And then you begin to appreciate certain things that some of us, do know. But I tell you sincerely, it is also another fiasco. So look, leadership and power comes only from God. So you don't need to speak to every individual on the street. Your antecedents should speak for you. Of everybody that's contesting governor, you must have done something in one capacity or the other. That is enough campaign. If you are not able to deliver, I don't think it's moving around now and trying to meet people individually. That will change the narrative. As you see, as far as we're concerned, I'm prepared for the election tomorrow. The people know who I am. They have seen my antecedents. They do know. If they have not taken a decision by now, then I'm fine with that. And that is it. So, direct primaries is not going to take anything from you. They already know you. Is it the 5,000 naira you think is going to buy their conscience? Our people, the political awareness, and our people have emerged from the Ottoman administration much more angrier and prepared to do the right thing without influence of money. So when people talk about money coming to play a role, I laugh at them. Our people are damn too angry for that.
Okay, so congratulations for the anti-open grazing prohibition law. I said congratulations because you did chunk of the work, though it was a bill for the people. Would you give the governor some credit for assenting to that bill and making it a law?
Yeah, for assenting to it. And I'm happy you never said implementation. For assenting to it, of course, because that was a bill that emanated from the people of Benue State. We commenced public hearings, everybody made inputs, and at the end of the day, that was a product that we were able to bring out. And so he did the right thing by assenting to that bill.
So what you said, but not the implementation.
Yes.
We have lifeguards. That was the first step in implementing it. And I can't see hencemen around railing their cows freely, though I haven't gone around all the local governments. But from the places I have seen, I see that that has reduced. So I don't know what you mean by implication. Is there anything that the Benue people don't know?
No, I know exactly what the Benue people also know. The problem sometimes is that maybe I'll merely rearrange what they do know. I'm not bringing anything new on the table. Okay? You agree with me that the discussion in the public domain, and indeed what seems to be the consensus of almost everybody in Benue State, that implementation process could have been done better. And if it were handled better, perhaps we would not have, recorded the degree of casualty that we did record. So many things in the implementation process that leaves a lot to be desired. Questionable characters.
Okay, so how would you have implemented it? If
I thought you wanted me to.
Yes.
You didn't allow me to finish.
Okay, finish. Sorry.
Yes. Well, okay, I'll go to the question you have asked me, because this is it. If I were to implement that, number one, we would have ensured that we get individuals of character and integrity to be the livestock guards, heavily assisted by our vigilante. You understand? Because in that implementation process of the governor, we discovered that people of questionable character and pedigree were allowed to supervise and superintend, the process of implementation. And that is why we found a Boko Haram suspect. And this do not really speak well for a law that was greeted with a lot of enthusiasm by the Benue people, and indeed has become a national point of discourse. You understand? One would have expected that government would have been a little bit circumspect in ensuring that the people that will be there will do the right thing. But when we had people that were now selling out information to our attackers, that dents completely the manner and process within which that law was implemented.
Okay, so but it was the place we were coming from was a place of hurt, a place of pain. Could it be that, I'm not thinking for the governor, but could it be that he looked for tough Benue guys to be the lifeguard people because of the kind of attack we were up against? Have you tried to look at it in that angle?
Well, Dofa, I don't know whether you have information indicating that Tashaku was strong. I don't know how you refer.
You say he's a Boko Haramist.
Yeah, sure.
You said it.
Yes.
So maybe
that doesn't make him strong. Indeed, most of these terrorists are cowards. The mere fact that he was spreading terror does not imbue him with any very strong qualities. You understand? If he was a wrestler or perhaps some sort of fighter somewhere, that can a combative person, I will understand. But the man was spreading terror. They are terrorists. They are cowards. They sneak behind you and detonate a bomb. I don't see them as being courageous people to feel adding them, you understand, to the livestock gas will make any meaning, to the Benue people. So he may have had his reasons, which I don't question. But for me, I don't see any justification at all to bring somebody of a questionable character here. You see, what he did was to give out information. That was what he was doing. Okay, and that is why I said questionable character. I'm talking about the character, you understand,
of the person.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people have said that there is another angle to the killing. It's not just the henchmen. That there is an undertone that is coming from us too. I've heard federal government say something like that as well. Being a close person to this entire crisis, were there times that you saw some documents that you feel, yes, there's an undertone?
No, what I've heard is what is in the public domain. I'm not privy to any other information indicating complicity or otherwise, and I will rather remain quiet on that.
Okay.
It has not come to my custody.
So who is Benjamin Tile Adanyi? In your words, how would you describe you?
Well, I'm a very, very down-to-earth person that ensures that people around me, are treated fairly and equally with justice, equity, and good conscience. It is always my desire to be impactful where I can. So simply put, that is about BT Adanyi.
Nobody has just a good qualities. You have just mentioned good quality. What is like what you have been praying, God, change this aspect of me. Like me, I get too angry. Everybody does have.
Yeah, sure. I have my weaknesses, and it is only natural. I have my weaknesses. I think anger is not part of it. Though I can get frustrated sometimes. Okay, but I try to, stifle the animal in me when I can. But I think that is what can come to my mind, and frustration, because when things are not happening or are not moving the way I think they ought to, or when people are not able to see things, I get frustrated. You understand? A couple of months or weeks, I got frustrated. With certain questions that people were asking me. When people ask me whether government has failed or government, I get frustrated. I just expect people to see these things the way they are and understand and key into.
No, exactly. Maybe they are coming from a point. You said that you have empathy on the government because it kept saying it does not have money. So until for a few months back. So most of these people, maybe they are coming from that point of. So you shouldn't get agitated when they ask you such questions.
Thank you very much.
Because I'm trying to calm you down.
Thank you very much.
So you shouldn't get agitated.
Thank you very much.
So you are someone in your place hardly have time for vacation because you have to be there deciding Benue fate all the time. And when you come back to your house, you don't even have a house. Like if I go to my house, it's quiet and I'm going to rest and meditate, but you don't have that. How do you have time to rest? How do you relax generally?
Yeah, I agree with you completely that that is a luxury. But sometimes I'm able to, still have some time and maybe read a book. I relax better when I read. Okay, and I also relax when I watch movies.
Okay.
Take out some little time to watch movies.
So you still watch movies?
Yeah, I do.
That's good for you.
In the dead of the night.
In the dead of the night, when you're supposed to be resting. That's good. So if I want to bring you a gift, what will you want me to come with? Anybody that wants to give Adanyi a gift, what will you cherish the most?
Maybe you can bring me a wrestling cassette.
Oh, really? Can you imagine? That's very funny. What's your philosophy in life?
My philosophy is that everything can be achieved in life if you put your heart to it and you pray to God sincerely. Then there is nothing that you cannot achieve.
Wow, that's powerful, isn't it? If you put your mind into everything you want, you can achieve it. You're hearing it from an achiever, someone that has achieved massively is telling you that. So put your mind, Nigerian youth. Okay, APC, we tend to feel that you talk from another mouth and you do from another mouth. And the Nigerian youth are saying that, you just passed the not you too young to run bill. And Nigerian youths were actually very excited at the law, and they rush in to buy forms and contest various political office. But boom, they discover that they can't even afford the forms. What do you have to say about that? Though I understand that you just brought down your prices last 3 days back, but it's still not good enough for anybody that wants to contest that political office to buy. Do you think you guys are encouraging the youths to participate in politics, as can be seen in the law?
Well, Dofan, I think that's an area that I have to be with you on the same page.
Thank you.
Because the amount of money, that we have heard as the price for sale of forms is very worrisome. Worrisome for the reasons that you have advanced, worrisome for a government that is promoting a corrupt-free society. I'm about to leave for Abuja, and the form that I am going to purchase is 22.5 million. That's a whole lot of money.
Yes, it is.
You understand? For a young man to be able to cough out at a time like this. And so we got excited when Mr. President informed the country that he's a civil servant and not in a position to afford the 55 million that was slated for the presidential form. And then only for us to wake up again and hear that one had been brought down to, I think, 40 million.
40, yeah.
And then that of the governorship forms is still kept at 22.5 million. And what just came to my mind was the scripture in the Bible that says, For those that have, more will be given to them. For those that do not have, even the little that they have, it will be taken away
from them. So the little we, the youth, is being taken away indirectly. Oh my goodness. So how will you describe your Governor Samuel Otom? You couldn't impeach him, so sadly he's still your governor.
Yeah, he is my governor. The truth of the matter, though far, is that leadership comes from God. Okay? So as we speak, you see.
So you think Otom came from God too?
Leadership comes from God. Okay? Leadership comes from God. Don't forget in the Bible that Saul was anointed by God. That the Spirit of the Lord left him is a different ballgame altogether. Honestly. So the leadership comes from God. Okay? But I would rather not try to evaluate the present governor of Benue State. The real evaluation is coming for the people of Benue.
Okay.
And I think you'll be privy to that. The people of Benue will speak out very, very soon from now as to whether or not he has performed, as to whether or not that government was a government of deceit and fraud. I want that to be the decision of the people. And in not too long from now, the people will go to the polls. And that is the evaluation that is important. And that is the one that I want to wait for. So I leave my own personal opinion to myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So a word for the youth as we run up. Encourage them, because some of them seems discouraged.
Well, for the youth of this country, I want to just simply say that, as it is said, this country belongs to us. As youth, it belongs to you people. It is rather sad that, youth complain these days that it is said that the future belongs to the youth, and the future never comes. Okay? But I want to encourage them. We have examples in the past of youths that were given positions of responsibility and they performed creditably well. Yakubu Gawan became president at I think 29. You understand? And several other youths spread across the country. Some are governors at 33, 34, and all that, and they have done very well. The problem we have these days with the youth is the problem of drug abuse. Wherein persons take drugs to feel high and all that. And a couple of days ago, my friend, the son was taking what they call what's it called again?
Tramadol.
No, not tramadol. There's a name for it. They just cover themselves and inhale.
Oh, that's a new one.
Socmacin. Yeah, socmacin is a process of inhaling the
substance.
The substance from the sockaway. From the sockaway. So it's socmacin.
Is that not dangerous?
Of course. I mean, of course, that drug abuse is dangerous whichever way you look at it. I want the youth to be focused. I want them to key into God, because there is little you can do without bringing God into the equation. I want them to be diligent and faithful. I want them to take their studies seriously, and above all things, I want them to be committed in whatever little thing they are doing. Tomorrow they will stand before kings if they pursue that dream and do it vigorously. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.